always ready.
I'm always ready.
Let's get it started.
All right.
Yeah.
First full week back after all the holidays.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of crazy town. It's one of those things, you know, I don't know how everyone feels. There's an element of like motivation where you're like, yeah, it's New Year. Let's get shit done. And I'm like, oh my God, we're like a year away from having another lull, you know, in holiday breaks. Like, it feels like a lot of work.
You know, it feels like work when you're doing it, but then afterwards, after a little bit, you're like, oh, I miss it. You know, it's like you're constantly...
No, you know, there is no good in between because I will agree. Like, I like to be busy. I like to have something to do. You know, when you're doing it, you're like, oh my God, I'm so busy. Like, I have no time. And then when you're not doing it, you're like, I'm so bored. I wish I had something to do.
Well, actually, it's funny because a friend of mine, we had sent him our wrap-up videos. We can talk about those a little bit, but I sent him a video.
We can, now that we've actually executed on it.
What's funny is his response was, he goes, it looks like you have, it's nice to have time. And I was like, what?
Well, so let's give some context. So every year, I've been in marketing for years and we have talked about this before. You mentioned it, but I was like, oh, don't talk about it because I wasn't sure we were going to be able to get our shit together this year. And we did. So we did one, it's like a musical wrap up that essentially writes lyrics and I write the lyrics. And then
about what we did for the year.
We recap the year.
It's a fun video about the year.
Yes. And then we did one for the business this year. And the last year was the first year I decided we would do one for our personal life.
Right.
Which is a tradition we'd like to keep doing. And of course, then this year it was like, well, let's do it for both. And I was like, that's a lot of work, you know?
Yeah.
So no rest for the wicked over the holiday break for us because we very much so still, we're working on some of those things. But your friend's response, it kind of pissed me off.
Did it?
Well, it was like, oh, you must have, you know, great video. You guys seem to have a lot of fun and a lot of time on your hands or something like that. And it was like, no, we're not sitting around doing nothing. We're actually running a business, hosting company, hosting dinners. Like we're doing a million different things. And we found the time to do something because it matters to us.
So the exact words were, because I think we're butchering the exact words. So the exact words were, you guys got skills and ... time.
Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm. It was and the time comment.
And it was kind of funny because I was like, what? I was like, you know what? We make time for what's important. Everyone in the world makes time for what's important to them.
Absolutely.
And
time and money, you know, it's one of those things like you can go out with somebody that is like penny pinching at a restaurant, but spending hundreds of dollars on horse food.
You could. Yeah.
We might know someone who does that.
Know someone.
No, I'm kidding. But it's like, it very much so is like what matters to you matters to you. Yeah. And by the way, I'm not digging on this person. I actually don't know this particular friend of his, so I can say whatever I want. but
he listens to the podcast too, by the way.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
No, he does not.
Yeah.
Hello, friend. I can't wait to meet
you. And I owe him dinner too, because I lost a bet on the point spread.
I don't even know
the election. So,
for the state of Florida. Gosh. Well, yeah. I'm really looking forward to our encounter when we first meet.
So we're actually both wearing sweaters today. It's cold in the office, and we had this conversation this week because it is cold. It's Florida. It's like, hey, it's cold, and everyone in the office I think is like, hey, it's kind of cold in here.
It's freezing.
It's not freezing in here at all. And
no, it's freezing outside.
It's freezing outside.
We said there was a cold front coming, and this morning they literally, I mean, it makes me laugh because I am originally from Michigan, so I'm going to sound like such a baby. But they're like, there's a cold weather warning. Like there's like a warning.
It's like everyone, it's cold weather. It's going to drop below 60 degrees.
No, it did say it was going to be 30 degrees first thing this morning, which I think it wasn't. By the time I got up and
really?
Yeah, I think it was like 40 by the time I got up and out. But
no way.
Yeah, really cold. But it makes me laugh because in Michigan we're in the negatives, and like Florida's getting like warnings like. Put get a jacket on. You might. It's like we would get like notifications in Michigan. It's like there's black ice. You'll die if you go on the roads this morning and try to drive
That's the
in
same
this
they're doing
without.
today. They're like, hey, it's below 60 degrees.
No.
You will die today
like,
if you go outside.
They are. They're like Floridians beware.
They're like, we have to issue a flip-flop alert.
Banned.
You are not allowed to wear
I know.
flip-flops.
You might
today.
get frostbite in your 40-degree flip-flop weather.
That's insane.
No. But why Chris is bringing it up is because he believes in budgeting, which means we are not going to turn the heat on at home or in the office. Although I will say this. Do you know what I'm about to say?
You apologize for turning the heat on in the house yesterday?
We did turn the heat on in the house yesterday because I'm 7 months pregnant and demanded.
She's like, it's so cold. I
to
go, if
not
we turn the
freeze.
heat on, it's just going to get really hot. And the crazy thing is, I turned the heat on and I set it to heat to 68 degrees. Well, then you woke up, you're like, it is 74 degrees in the house and like I'm sweating. Can you do something about it?
Oh, it was horrendous. At 2 a.m, I was like,
And I did not want to get up because I had already told you that this was going to happen.
He
I was
goes,
like, it's going to
we have a slider in our bedroom. He
I was
goes,
like, open the
the
slider.
door.
Let the Arctic air in.
I was like, I'm not going to open the door.
Yeah.
Then we'd all freeze.
And then I
Pepper
ended up
would freeze.
because I'm like Prince Charming. I got up out of bed. I went to the thermostat. Literally, the thermostat you walked by, and I switched it from heat.
It was off. I didn't want to.
It was off at that point.
I don't touch things in the house. Anytime I touch something, he's like, "What did you do?"
That's not true. You touch things all the time. So, but you do break things too. So, you know what's
The air
funny?
conditioning
You know,
system
I
in
don't
our
know if
home
we've
is
ever
very
told
sensitive.
the story about the garage door, but every day I come home in my life, I look at the garage door, which is dented, and it reminds me of you and your sister. And they went out, and I can't remember what it was. But
I was boasting. So we have a golf cart, and on the top left corner, on the driver's side of the golf cart, he's zip tied.
The garage door opener.
The garage door opener, which is not a phenomenon. I mean, I felt like it was a brilliant idea, but like I'm sitting there telling my sister, I'm like, look, Chris has, because she was like, how are we going to get in? You know, as we were driving up. And I was like, isn't he amazing? Look, it's right here. It's right here. And so I'm like pointing to it. If she would have just turned her head and looked, then I could have stopped pointing to it. But she was too busy looking at the garage door I was about to run into.
So she hit the garage
she didn't
door.
say anything.
And the garage door is opening slowly, and they kind of zipped into the garage thing, and the roof of the golf cart hit the top. The bottom
hit
of
the door.
golf.
The door just wasn't open all the way yet.
And so it knocked it off
know?
its hinges. It
Well,
put a
what
huge
was
dent
so
into
funny,
it.
it was this loud noise, and I literally looked at my sister. I was like, "What was that?" I mean, I had no idea.
And the reason
I
why
had hit
she had
the
no
door.
idea and was asking what was that is because you guys were on cocktail hour
I was
at
not.
2 in the afternoon.
No, I would never
on a
drive under
Sunday.
the influence. I maybe had one. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
whatever. Anyway, he was working in his office, which is literally like on the other side of the garage, and he came
I
into
flew in the garage because all of a sudden I
mean,
heard this crash.
I looked at him like, "Oh shit!"
and I was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "What did you do?"
But the air conditioning can be sensitive in our house, so I touch things all the time, you know, in my kitchen, in my area of expertise.
And I was gonna say, in your area of expertise, you do that. I think I pretty much tackle all the other stuff.
But anyway, so our employees might, you know, boycott the office in another day here if it continues to be this cold.
I am giving them an amazing opportunity to wear all the sweaters in their closets.
No, I'm very concerned about if we were taking happiness surveys at work right now.
Tomorrow, I'm bringing in hot cocoa, and everyone's gonna be like, "This is so nice. The office is chilly. We have hot cocoa."
Where are you going to get said hot cocoa?
Publix.
What?
Hot cocoa, Publix, like little packets.
Oh, we got to make our own hot cocoa?
We have a water boiler. We have a member of the team who
We
boils
do
water
have a
every
kettle.
day.
We do have
and
a kettle.
So, do you know what? It's happening.
No,
guys.
it's cold. I mean, my hands are icicles.
No, they're not. Ah! Your hand's actually cold.
It is cold. It's very cold.
That's funny.
It's really cold on my Jeeps.
All right. Well, we'll see. We're going to bring hot cocoa in for everyone tomorrow, which, kind of leads me into one of those things. We just populated Snack Train after the holidays and everything. And I'm actually curious how many people.
Snack Train existed, but because we were going on our 2-week, you said we just populated it. We did a refill.
We did a refill.
Yes.
We repopulated it.
Which
Popcorn's
is
going fast.
Hilarious. Snack Train is just a bunch of different snacks that we put in these dispensers. And in December, I was like, I should go and get a couple of things. I kept telling everyone, I'm going to go and get a couple of things. And every day was just so busy preparing to leave that I never ended up going. And so I finally filled it up. And I said to the team, I was like, it only took 2 months, but we finally have some snacks back. And you asked for healthy snacks.
Yeah. I wanted some healthy snacks.
How many healthy snacks have you had since we've refilled Snack Train?
2, but they were carrots. They were my own carrots, though, that I brought because I already had bought some baby carrots.
I hate, by the way, people apologize.
Baby carrots are just big carrots.
They're not
that have been
carrots.
cut in smaller.
They're not real carrots.
They are. They're
not.
100%. They're real carrots.
No.
They're just cut small.
Absolutely not. I wouldn't have a baby carrot.
Where do you
if my
think?
life
You think they have a
depended
baby
on it.
carrot farm somewhere?
I think
where
they
just grow
mulch
little
up a bunch of carrots
no,
and they form them into these weird little.
They do not form them. They're just cut small.
No, they're not.
I
And they're
100%.
wet
I'm going to find a video
slimy.
of cut
They're
carrots.
nasty. No, our children will eat real carrots cut into pieces.
They are real carrots.
No, they're not.
They promise you they're real carrots.
I'm not eating a baby carrot.
Baby
It's
carrots?
so weird. They cook weird. No.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
They're real carrots.
I haven't seen a baby carrot in my house
Speaking
in
of babies.
7 years. And he went to the store by himself the other day and came home with baby carrots.
And I love them. I eat them.
That was for your New Year's. He did the whole black eye. I wasn't eating, so he knew. It's like when you go to the store on your own, there's certain times where you're like, I know she's going to hate baby carrots.
Actually, what happens is I look at the calendar and I look to see if you're going to not be there one night because I have to fend for myself. And so I'm like, what is it that I want this week that I would like to get? And so then I pick up some of these things. But then when I'm doing that, I'm also sitting there and I go buy baby carrots and I'm like, you know what? There's a couple baby carrots here. Like I love baby carrots.
They're horrible.
Anyways, speaking of babies, I feel like it has been Christmas. I'll tell you what.
We cannot refer our child to a baby carrot. That cannot be the truth.
Why are we still on baby carrots? We can't talk about more baby carrots. Look, here's the thing with the okay, you have a baby shower coming up.
Yes, we do. This weekend. And thank
can
goodness
do some
it's not
damage
gonna be,
on Amazon.
It's not going to be 30 degrees for the shower. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully it's nice and sunny and cool. But here's the deal. I can do some damage on Amazon. Like I love Amazon. I like it because when we're looking at purchasing something in the moment, I can put it in my cart, I can order it, and I know that it's just going to arrive. And I have gone through periods of time where I've thought, you know what, I need to get this under control because there's a lot of like a package arrives every day. 2 packages might arrive today. 1 package, 2 packages. Usually it's 1 or 2. The last week, we have had no less than 7 to 8 packages in front of our door every day because people are ordering off of your
registry.
baby
It's
registry.
very nice, yes.
And it's amazing because all this stuff is just kind of coming in last moment. And
For someone who's not a hoarder, which is me,
yeah,
my anxiety level of the amount of shit you need for a child is like climbing.
It's amazing how much little things, and everything's blown out of proportion because you might have like, a pacifier, but it's in like a box that's like 12 inches by 10 inches, right? Yeah. So, you have all this stuff, but the stacks, I mean, literally the stacks of boxes outside. I talked to the Amazon
We're very
guy last
blessed.
We have a lot of great family and friends. We feel very fortunate. And I was talking to the guy last night. I was like, man, I am so sorry that you keep, and he's like, nah, man. He's like, this is my last stop. I'm about ready to go home. And it was like 8:30 at night,
Is that how he talks? I'm about ready to go home.
Matter of fact, he did. And I was just trying, he was a very nice gentleman, but that's how we were talking. We were just hanging out for a few minutes. I love talking to the mailmen's. So
I know we already talked about how the mailman's brother, there's a whole thing.
But anyways, the reason why I bring it up is because we've been collecting these little slips. of paper that come inside of these things. So anyone who gets a registry, we're going to do a public service announcement because you found something.
This was insane.
So you can kind of walk
through
it.
So a couple of months ago, we created a registry, which you can create on many different places. I chose Amazon. You can do multiple places at any one time. I chose Amazon. And so anyway, we got something a while back and we didn't know who it was from. It was Amazon's mistake because it was truly purchased from the registry and a name was associated. There was no slip at all inside. And these slips, they tell you who it's from if they put their information in, which they do, and then has a little QR code for returns if you happen to need to return the item. And so, which then gives you the credit to purchase something else that you need.
You can give these people thank you cards.
Right, absolutely. That's the really you know who it came from.
You're going to thank them for it. I need to thank them for this.
And so, and I called Amazon when we didn't have the information. And I was like, can you please tell me, like, at least, what day this was purchased? Is there a last name? Who did it? What state, was it ordered in? Like, any information at all. And no, sorry, due to our privacy policies, we can't do that. And da-da-da. So the other
By the way, privacy policies is actually on our list of the 5 trends for 2025.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll talk about it in a minute. But but anyway, the other day I just so happened to be in my personal email, which gets hundreds of junk mails a day. I feel like at this point, I've had the same email since I was like 10 years old. Still is my maiden name. But anyway, it was like, changes have been made to your baby registry. Someone's purchased, and it was like, if you'd like to see, or know who to thank, look at your thank yous and return page, which I was like, what? There's a thank you and returns page? Click the link. Every item that has been purchased from my registry, I have saved.
I saw that too, by the way. So there's a window over here and an animal just jumped up and hit the glass. Maria looked, I saw it. You were just telling a story, but
what kind of animal?
I don't know. It could have been a buffalo. It was big.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
So there's
it's gone now.
Was it a rat?
I don't know. It jumped. It came up, it hit, and it fell back down.
I didn't even hear it.
I saw it. It was huge.
Wow.
Sorry. Go. I
Last
apologize.
week we had lizards. This week we've got
jumping rats or something. I don't know. I think it was huge.
Oh my God.
Maybe it was a bird.
Is Pepper inside?
Yeah, she's okay. Sorry, go on.
Can we even continue?
Because Maria looked over there and we both saw it and you were I'm looking right at the window.
I know.
So
I'm so bummed.
I was surprised that she saw it. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, it's so big.
Anyway, long story short, there's a whole cheat sheet, gives you a list of everything on your registry, who purchased it. Yes. And if you need to return it, you can click on it right there and it gives you the QR code. So you don't actually need to save slips. Every little slip.
So we can get rid of all those.
I mean, I'm not going to just yet, but yeah,
you're a little bit like I have piles and slips and everything in here.
Everything's so organized.
Like, if we get rid, I am not 100% sure in this technology right now. I need to make sure that it's going to work before I throw these away.
No, I mean, not only that, I've curated my own spreadsheet. Like we're in business.
I know.
But the showers this weekend, it'll be nice to have it and also have it over.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I know. That's that. But, you were going to talk about you're just like gazing right now. Are you thinking about your rat animal or
No, it's actually a thought that popped in my head while you were talking, and you're talking about how you had your email since you were young. And I always look at people with Yahoo emails.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, you're old.
I know. Yahoo, you give yourself away.
You give yourself away. If you have a Yahoo email and you're still using it in 2024,
that's wild.
You went to school in the 90s.
Well, and the fact that Yahoo's still supporting email inboxes for those people.
Like, seriously, who has a Yahoo inbox?
Yeah. I mean, who did Yahoo?
My doctor friend does.
Who's your doctor friend? The one who said we had a lot of time?
No. No, Indiana.
I don't know. I'm not catching on.
That's okay.
I'm not picking up what you're putting down.
You're not picking up what I'm putting down.
But our garage is in shambles as we prepare for the baby shower to do some decorations and stuff. And we're finishing up the nursery.
I'm building up some shelves, doing some tile work. And I really enjoy it. It's interesting because, speaking of time, like we could hire people to do this, and there's two thoughts. One is it would cost a lot of money to make what we're making, and two, I really just enjoy being the one that made them.
Oh yeah, you
And
love the projects.
I just really get a lot of fulfillment in life from doing home projects.
You do. And then there's this, I don't know if every man does this, but once the project is done, I mean, I sometimes am like, I've lost my husband. Like, I don't know where he is. And now I know after years that
I'll be sitting in front of it.
Yeah, if a project has just recently been completed, you are literally like phone down, just standing or sitting in front of what you've built. Just
I do.
Examining.
It's funny that you say that because I never really thought about it, but it's so true.
Yeah, no.
I sit there and I just gaze at it and I go, doesn't that look so good?
It's like he's so proud of himself. And then you'll come and you'll find him and you'll be like, it looks amazing. You did a great job. Okay. Let's walk away now.
I know.
And you're like, I can see a lot of little mistakes, but
I do.
it's okay.
I see all the flaws.
I know.
And what I could do better next time.
No, and I see no flaws because it looks like perfection.
And I keep walking like, man, doesn't it look good? Like, doesn't because I hate it. It's probably one of the few things where I actually, when I build a project at the house, I actually sit there and I go, I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't go through life going, wow, we just coded this page. I'm so proud of myself. Like, I just don't do that. But when I build something with my hands and woodworking and house stuff, I look at it, I'm like, man, I'm really proud that I was able to accomplish that.
I know. It is amazing.
I do have that.
And
feeling.
the nursery's in a place of the house where we don't typically go. So like that, it's like when he's examining that, it's like, oh, he's gone. Just like when you built, he made a little magical entryway for Christmas, which was outside. Mm-hmm. And so then some days I'd be like, where is he? You're just standing outside.
I was standing outside looking at it.
It's like, okay. But
I wonder how many people do that. I don't know.
I'm sure a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot. I mean,
I
once
just
you
really
become like a
enjoy it.
contractor for a living and you build houses and stuff for a living, I'm sure.
Now we take these things for granted. We have some beautiful stuff, and it's just like, it's like, oh, yeah, I go over there, go sit in front of the wine nook. It's like, this thing was gorgeous before. I was like, salivating looking at it. Now I look at it and just like, oh, yeah, we're missing wine. We need more wine. The craftsmanship has been forgotten.
I am mentally and physically missing wine for sure.
All right, so we got some business topics to talk about. One is
business,
our internal company conference.
Yeah.
So, and the word conference is interesting because like when you say conference, you're probably thinking 100, thousands of people.
It just depends. And I mean,
and we're planning for 10.
Well, it's just 10 in person.
10
but
in person.
We probably another 10 that would be tapping in remote. But no, I wanted to bring it up because I think it's important if you are running a business, or even if you're a participant in a business, it's important that you share your ideas and bring things up that you think could be valuable or beneficial. But when working for other corporate companies in the past, you and I have both found it really valuable to share product roadmaps, visions, missions, core values of a company, any sort of like major milestones from the year before. And so we've curated experiences it's just like a day of internal communications. Sometimes that can expand out where you're doing internal company conferences and there's individual department updates too. There's usually sales teams that meet up on maybe a quarterly basis in person. It's like, it's so important to have that in-person time with your employees to do a check-in, to make sure you're being clear in the direction that the company's headed, the part that they play. And it's just, we like to have a lot of fun and try to make it worth their time, and when we've worked for companies ourselves, it's like, that's the type of information we want to make sure we're receiving. Mm-hmm. And that's what helps motivate us to want to work harder to get to, those goals, those stretch goals, or that, future vision. And so, it's an exciting time,
and so this is our first one.
Yeah, we're going to do it for our own company.
Our second official year
in business.
As an umbrella company,
yeah.
With the holdings. And so we're creating our first ProdX event, and we are going to be sharing exactly everything that you said. and we got some space. We went ahead and reserved space at the local hotel. And
Yeah, I think it's important sometimes to just take people off site, do something a little bit different than what would be the typical day to day. And also, we chose, I mean, there's different times that make sense for different companies to do it. It might be like, okay, this is our slow season. So when people are finally in a little bit of a lull or have time to catch up or have time to regroup about where to prioritize their time, maybe that's what makes sense for you. And it could be in June, you know? But it's all, I mean, think about teachers. It could be any profession. But when you sit there and you look at our business, it's like we very much so do function by the calendar year. And so coming in and kickstarting 2020, 2025.
2020,
2025. Stop.
I feel like there's a song coming.
No, you really, oh my God. Stop. We have the giggles. We have to stop.
Okay.
Everyone just really. I'm like turning red. Anyway, we kick off the year because it helps motivate people. And the expectation is that we're setting goals anyway, but it's kind of like validation of the goals that have been set for the year to say, okay, I'm on the right track with where I'm going to be spending my time. So that's been fun. A lot of fun.
Excellent. Yeah, well, we're looking forward to sharing the results, but it's one of those things. I think what and why we're sharing is that if you have a small business and you have a team,
or
that
a big business,
or big business. I mean, you have a big business, you should be there. If you have a small business, don't think that you're too small to have an hour. You can literally set aside an hour. You can cater a lunch. You can say, hey, we're going to go over our goals for this year. This is what we're going to do. Because the other thing is you might have team members that are sitting there going, you know, I don't know if I want to be here and be stagnant. I'm not sure if I want. I got other opportunities. I want to do something more fun. And those people who might be on the fence could hear what you're talking about and be like, you know what, I want to be a part for this. Like, I see where you're going. I think the what gets into a lot of people is they have businesses that technically are just kind of like turn and repeat. Hey, we get an order in, we processes it, it goes out the door, you know, or something that's very basic, and they think it's very boring in terms of whatever. And even if that's the case and you're not making any changes, it's just very clerical. You know, like you could take a law office, right? Like, is there anything exciting there? It's like, okay, case comes in, process case, do paperwork, you're paralegal. You're like, okay, my life's blah, blah, blah. And so you're doing.
Hey, some people thrive off of that shit.
I know. My point is that even though it's very methodical and circular and doesn't feel like new things are happening, you can come in and be like, hey, you know what? Like last year we did, 20 cases, and next year we want to do 25 cases, and here's some things we're going to do. And hey, here's some marketing that we're thinking about doing, but just sharing with your team and making them more a part of the entity or the company.
It's definitely cultivating a culture. It is. It's like, it is what you make of it. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you're cleaning toilets. It doesn't matter if you're in hospitality, which actually, I mean, this is a perfect transition to talk about. And by the way, before I move on to that topic, you said, if you're a big company, you should be doing that. What's amazing is that there are some big companies that put on incredible conferences, both internally and externally. So like, companies like Salesforce, NetSuite, HubSpot, like they have Salesforce is just the Salesforce conference. And they've acquired Slack and they go to those conferences too. It's like they're the major parent company, but there's Sweet World, there's HubSpot Inbound. I mean, there's these major conferences where they are sharing a lot of their internal visions or strategies or tactics, but it's also open to the public. And there is an element of inviting in clients, prospects, to these internal events to see your employees and the culture that you've cultivated, because none of the information's really, there's some aspects that are probably proprietary to a company where you could be like, hey, we're going to do a couple hour event in the morning, and then in the afternoon, like we can have our customer advisory board there. So as these things grow over the course of time, I think we will expand it out to be internal as well as external, depending on what the topic is. But you said big companies do it. There's a lot of big companies that don't. And I think they should. I absolutely think that it's important. There are some people that just are like churn and burn, or they come in for the everyday and the communication isn't the most important thing in the world to them. But we just had a conversation last night where it's exactly to your point. It doesn't matter what you're doing, it's what you make of it and how you choose to drive the culture. And we were talking to a guy who's been in the restaurant business for
last night at dinner. Yeah.
For years. And
For years.
it's like you can come in and you can be like, I'm a waitress, I'm a bartender, what does that mean? And he kind of like opened our eyes. I'm infatuated with food as it is, but the way he spoke about like his growth in his career and the positions that he's held and the responsibility and the partners, I mean, it was insane.
Well, we frequent the restaurants, and we've always said like it is run so well, and because we always make a point to try to know the owners of the small businesses in our town. We've developed a friendship, and we always get hugs and hey, how you doing, anything like that, and he's busy a lot of times because right now we're entering season here in Sarasota, so things are gonna be hopping. But it's always hey, how you doing, and we always come in like this place is run so well, like we just feel special. The food's special, the drinks are special. Pepper's over in the corner; she feels special.
Oh, she came in. Pep.
Anyways, but
we got animals coming in
we had
today.
One of the things that we were talking about, and what led to our conversation last night, is that we just had an Ocean Prime open up.
Yes,
in
so
Sarasota.
There is, when
and
you
we
go
were
to
curious why, because we had heard from another friend that
staff
one of the
from
steakhouses,
current
they lost
restaurants.
half of their staff to this new restaurant, Ocean Prime.
Yeah.
And we asked him, and he said, hey, did you have any impact? And what he said was, he goes, we didn't have any. And it's because people want to be here with our company.
Well, and he also said
that
something
he's fostering.
But I agree with exactly what he said. He goes, I've told people, and I'll continue to tell people, the door is always open. If you've got an opportunity for growth, like I support it. Go for it.
Right.
He's like, if the door is open, if you sit there and make people feel like
They have to stay.
You have to stay. There's nowhere better than where we've got going on right now. And you just talk about yourself like you're the best thing in the world.
Right.
And like, if you leave, you'll never find an experience like this. And you just, it's like, people are so grossed out,
Yeah.
They don't want to stay. They're like, actually.
She basically just mentioned everything I would probably say.
No, I know.
They were awesome. And you just, but I would never want someone to stay.
No, it's very different. It's very,
I guess that's weird. It's like, it's not that I don't want them to stay. I would never sit there and be like, we're the only best. Because I think one of the ways that you do grow is by job hopping, unfortunately. And because I know that's so prevalent, it's got me thinking on, as we look at what the next 5 years is, what opportunities do we open for a team so they don't have to job hop to get to that next level of responsibility.
Like job hopping can be internal as well as external. It just depends on where your growth is. And and the whole point of talking about this is like, it's amazing because you can sit there and you can be like, I'm a waitress, I work at a restaurant. Well, he worked in a restaurant that happened to be a franchise. And all of a sudden he got the opportunity to open a new franchise. And he saw just this curation of the business side of the restaurant. He wasn't a bartender or a waiter. He was someone who came in and he was like, oh my gosh, there's someone whose individual role is to hang all the artwork in the exact same places inside this building that looks identical. And it's like, it happens in 24 hours because it's so curated. Then the trainers come in who worked at other restaurants who know everything about it already. And these people who you're like a manager at a restaurant one day, the next day you're getting paid to go to Florida for 3 months to open up a brand new restaurant, which is what's just happened at Ocean Prime. It is a chain that's come from, I believe, New York, but don't, quote me on that one. But it's like the LA restaurants of the world is you find a city where you're like, there's potential here. We're going to open this. They said the build out of Ocean Prime was probably no less than $10 million. And so you sit there and they're like, if we put that money in, we need the right people to go and run this. And I'm like, I never thought about that. You work at a restaurant and you get paid to travel the United States to open up a new restaurant. Now, the hours are unsociable and, that'd be hard if you had a family.
Yeah.
But if you're younger and you're working your way up.
We would be in trouble if Ocean Prime was on the other side of Fruitville.
What? I don't understand.
Because it would be within golf cart range. We don't like to go where it's at. We don't like to take the golf cart over that road because of just
You just mean we'd be in trouble because we'd be there all the time?
Yes.
and it's expensive.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
amazing.
our friends have said it's not actually that much more expensive than what exists already in
These
town.
restaurants, though, it's like this Ocean Prime experience. We've heard, like, you get there, the valet is sending you messages via text. Like, you can text it while you're at your table and
totally
be like,
taking the
I'm
golf
ready
cart
for
there,
my
man.
car, but it's just, there is this different level of excellence, and customer service.
It actually made me want
that-
to go
try it just for the
Yeah.
experience, to be like, you're not sitting there. The whole staff is working towards.
Is that our Sunday night now?
I don't know. But it's very, if you can look at a business like a business, and even if it is a restaurant where you're just going to get a meal, if you pay attention to the details, you can find passion to bring that into your own business or into your own day-to-day or into your own role, to be like, wow, I went out and this person, they cared.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We talk about this, which is the customer service experience is what's really going to get people to share, give you 5-star reviews, refer, everything else. Like, at the end of the day, we are so spoiled with product, whether it's things that we can buy, whether it's food we can go to, whether it's Disney World. We are in
Disney's
this
a great
country, the access to amazingness is all around us. So the thing that's going to differentiate people is going to be the level of service that they provide in giving that item. Because everyone, for example, can make a shirt, right? So you can have 10 screen printers. They all can make shirts. But the one that has the best experience, the one that is the easiest to order from, the one that to follow up with returns, the customer service, that's the one that's going to gravitate, grow, and get more business because people want to do business with
That
them.
was the Amazon model, and look at them now. But it's like,
Well, that was the shoe model.
right,
Zappos.
It was. You're right.
I mean, Tony, he was, I
Tony.
know.
So sad.
That entire experience and what he pushed was like, hey, do whatever it takes to make the customer happy.
I know. For some reason, I just sat there and I thought about Tony and I thought about Steve Jobs, and you sit there and you're like, you could be this mastermind of customer experience and technology. And it's like, life is just so precious.
It is very precious.
It really is.
Yeah, let's not go down that.
No, I know. But I was going to say, it is. You sit there and you go, it's all about the customer experience. Now, on the flip side of that, so interesting, because we also spoke about a franchise that's like a dinner and a movie concept.
Yes, in the bistro.
And
I don't mind saying it
he's
because
just gonna
it's
throw
just,
the name out.
Yeah, it's just.
But what's amazing is the discussion was, there was meant to be this curated, incredible customer experience of the dinner and a movie aspect, with the dinner
Right.
being the highlight. But at the end of the day, people are coming to watch a movie. So the owners of that company, they're going to make the money no matter what. People are still going to pay to
still gonna
see
go to
a
the movies.
movie in the
Yeah.
theater. And so if the food sucks and it's overpriced and the staff sucks and the experience is horrible,
You still saw the movie,
and you're still going to come back to see another one.
and which is us. By the way, which is us,
Which
because
is
we
literally
know
us.
We know when we go there that the service is going to suck, but we're going there because we want to have a drink and
Because
grab
it's
a
better
dinner.
than being at an AMC.
Yeah,
And you have the ability to sit in your seat and eat
Yeah.
some food.
that's
and
why I just started carrying flasks.
oh, stop. I know he actually does. And the other day it was like 9 a.m. and there
Well,
was
you
a
go there,
flask in
look,
the sink,
first of
and I
all,
asked him,
You feel so much better about buying a $9 Coke at a theater when you put
rum
rum
in
in
it.
it.
I
Now all of
wouldn't
a sudden
know.
it's a
It's been
$9
too
cocktail.
long. Yeah, I know.
So-
You're quite excited about
Oh,
that.
gosh.
He's chuffed over here.
I got a nice
No, but there
flask.
was a flask in the sink at like 9 a.m.
cleaned
the
it.
other day.
I did. I
and
wasn't drinking.
I said to him, I was like, please tell me you cleaned out your car, or you clean? He was like, no, it's down in the office.
It was down in the man cave, and I took it out. I was like,
know.
this has been sitting here for a while, and it's gotten a lot of recent usage because we went to like a little movie blitz for like 2 months. We saw like 4 movies.
Too many movies. You couldn't drag me back there right now if
I'm
you
not
tried.
ready for a movie for another.
But-
bit. You want to go to a movie for Valentine's Day?
No, absolutely not. I don't want any surprise movies. I don't want anything.
It's actually, I think it was.
It is.
Valentine's Day is the
a Friday
biggest
this
movie
year.
night of
Yeah.
the year
in the
and
world.
in the world, and it happens to be on a Friday night this year.
Hallmark holiday.
Yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
I'm actually going to see what's in the theater.
Before
I'm so excited to give you your Valentine's gift this
before
year.
social media, Valentine's Day is a lot of fun. He always curates and makes a customized game for me that we play. I've had an amazing race one year where I like had to go around town and find different clues and open them up. That was tons of fun.
I actually got the
Last year we
envelopes.
did Deal or No Deal, and
You won a bowl of pho.
I did. I got some noodles. Yeah,
She had some amazing gifts.
You guys, there was literally a 2-week trip to Greece.
Yeah.
No joke. I kept looking at him and I was like, "Is this for real? If I win this in this game
I said,
right
we're
now?"
going.
And he said, "We're going." I mean, down to like the wire where it was going to be just a weekend staycation at one of the nicest hotels in town, and I freaking took the gamble and wound up with a $10 bowl of noodles.
Oh, $30 bowl of noodles.
It was devastating.
You could have went to Greece.
I can share the video footage with Maria of me collapsing on the
Oh
ground.
my gosh, it was hilarious.
Pepper
gotten
consoled me.
But all
so
about
I'm
customer
excited about
experience and just the decisions that we make. And it's really big on in our presentation in Prodigy X this year. I'm going to talk about where we're headed with the products that we've been building and curating this customer experience. And I think
that's a huge part of what this company stands for and what we're building. We build our own proprietary software
to help curate the experience.
Right. A lot of our products are home services or food, but that's kind of separate from the technology side. There are aspects that we're building out to help support, the food and manufacturing industry. But at the same time, it's like people everywhere have the ability to be like, I'm going to get a pool service. I want air conditioning. Like, it's not hard.
Power washing.
But it's the experience that you have when you call those people on. Oh my gosh. Sorry. This just reminded me. I'm the president of our board in our HOA. Yeah. And I was just thinking about how hard it is to actually wrangle vendors to come and do something. And after the hurricane, we needed to get roofing fixed.
We can't go into the roofing thing today.
Wait, I'm not going to go into it. All I'm going to say is that there are different buildings that needed fixing. And even when you get them to come on site, they were literally on the wrong house fixing the wrong roof.
Fixing a neighbor's roof.
I mean, you're just like...
And they happen to be friends of ours, too, which is hilarious.
So I get a call.
They're calling us. They're like, there are people on our roof, and we just had our roof fixed 2 weeks ago.
No, they paid thousands of dollars to do it on their own.
Refixing. They would have got it for free because our contractors
They're like, I'm really curious what they're doing. And people call me like, hey, you're the president of the board, or send me emails. Yeah. Like first of all, I do know I'm not some dumb girl, but you're like, the questions that come at you, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's insane.
I know. It isn't. I'm not the president anymore. Actually, I handed the baton over last month. We did a re-election. I mean, you guys would have thought that I was like on Napoleon Dynamite, like vote for Pedro campaign. I sat on this call. I was like, you guys, this man here, he's done so much for this community. You want him to be president?
I'm gonna call Larry Pedro when I see him. Be like, hey Pedro. He's gonna be like, what?
Vote for Pedro.
Private joke. Private joke in our thing. So,
he might not get it.
He's not gonna get it.
No.
So I'm not sure how to segue into the next real big topic, but I did want to jump in and talk about.
We talked about privacy earlier.
Well,
back into
Forbes
that?
publishes a annual trend, like things that you should be looking out for in 2025, and they came up with 5, and one of them that we talked about was data privacy. And so I feel like
what's wrong with us?
Data
today?
privacy has been a topic for data privacy has been a topic every year. It's like super important. And by the way, when I did that, Pepper ran out of the room just now, which is amazing. I'm gonna do that every time I see her. You're like, anyway.
The noises that you made on this podcast.
I'll tell you what, it reminds me of that show.
I
Sing
gave
2.
him
It was like,
eyes.
boop, boop, beep, boop,
No, you're talking about Sing 2. Yeah, the
I
pig.
just said Sing 2.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop.
Beep, bop, boop, boop, boop,
Oh my
boop,
gosh.
boop.
But the fat pig, as he's about to jump. He's not fat. I shouldn't say that. He's
There's
just
no
a
skinny
pig.
pigs. Okay, so there's
You'd
no skinny
be
pigs.
concerned if there was a skinny pig.
Anyways, the 5 real quick. Embrace. I know. Embrace AI for
There's
meaningful.
no skinny pigs.
There's no skinny pigs.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right, breathe. breathe. You gotta breathe.
Oh my
for
gosh,
me.
what is up with the giggles today?
I don't know.
That was funny.
That was funny. There's no, yeah. Okay, I'm not even gonna say it again.
Don't.
So,
Okay, I need to turn around. Just go. Okay.
embrace AI for meaningful impact. And so, I always tell people, because we're in development and we build software for people, and they're like, oh, what about, AI? And I'm like, look, AI is cool. There's a lot of really cool. You gotta stop.
I know. I'm so sorry.
You gotta stop. I can't
Okay,
even be
I'm gonna
serious
move
right
the
now.
microphone away from myself.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, AI. No,
So
seriously.
embrace AI,
AI
for
is
meaningful
amazing.
impact. And so
AI
there's a
is
lot of
scary.
great uses, and we're not even going to, we could talk about the scariness otherwise, but you know what? You should be using or start integrating some of that for just some improvements. And there's a lot of stuff out there that really does feel kind of scammy. I get a lot of things that I watch, and I'm like, AI is not going to, like, hey, have AI take over all of your, marketing, and you're going to be a bazillionaire. And it's like, no, you still have to have a great product. You still have to have all these other things that are in place. It's not like this easy silver bullet, but AI for meaningful impact. Oh my gosh, fluctuations on the economy. What they're saying is that they believe that it's going to be an up and down year this year, where there's going to be, this fluctuation in the economy is funny, guys.
No, nothing about this is funny. And actually, we could do an entire podcast on AI. And
I've already
I'm
skipped
trying
AI.
really
We're already on
hard. I'm trying to
fluctuations in the
focus.
economy. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my co-host here, guys.
Well, wait, I was going to say something.
Okay.
There was a picture the other day of a woman with like 7 little babies in her arms or whatever, and someone was just like, this is AI generated, count the fingers on her hands, and she legit had like 6 fingers like holding all these babies. It is kind of weird.
It is, and I had some art dreams last night that I shared with you this morning about AI. It was it's interesting because now you totally got me off topic, but I had dreams. And it could be because I had too much sangria last night.
He did have a little
and
bit of
I haven't been
sangria.
drinking much at all, but I had 3 glasses of sangria at dinner.
I haven't been drinking, but
so
I
had some
downed a
weird-
bottle of wine.
I drank a bottle of wine of my own.
Really strange
And
dreams.
so I had some strange dreams, and it was a lot of artwork and what I would consider like abstract art. And then it was making me think of the fact that we have a project where we're generating images for blog headers. And a lot of what we're getting back is the kind of stuff that was in my dream. And I sat there and I'm like, holy shit, AI is dreaming. I mean, it's almost
First of all,
close to consciousness.
he was like, the AI bots, it's like they're dreaming. And I'm like, or this is what you've received back from AI. So now you're dreaming about what you've physically seen.
I didn't.
Anyway,
My stuff was good.
he thinks
So fluctuations in the economy is super important. They're basically, what it's going to say is that sales are going to go up and down throughout the year. There's a lot of weird craziness going on. So they said, just be prepared for that, store up some cash, etc. 3 was prepare for the Gen Z consumer. So you have this entire generation that's coming about that's going to be hitting it, and they have more cash than any other generation before it. And the reason is the baby boomers are slowly that
I
era
know,
is
I
closing
hate-
out.
I
and
hate to say it.
wealth is being passed
Yeah.
to this other generation, and they are spenders.
Well,
And
COVID
so-
kind of expedited that, unfortunately. I think that was what was happening
Correct.
for a while there. It was most impactful in the worst way to the older generation. And so there was a lot of money passed down through that. We saw a lot of money being spent after the economy
did. It was
was in
amazing how
such
much
a
money was
tough
being
time.
spent.
It was very intriguing to see the consumerism and the inflation that was taking place, but yet the ability to spend. And now I feel like some of that's been depleted. But
Yeah, it's almost like people have run out of money to spend.
right, that it was, and
it's
that
harder
it
to
was
get some of these
irresponsibly
customers.
spent. Due to just being cooped up, or kind of this mentality of like, well, we only have one life to live anyway. There was just a pandemic. Like, let's live it to the fullest.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see what that looks like, the Gen Z consumer, for
And then
sure.
the last trend that they said is sustainability. And what they mean by sustainability is like, and we're experiencing this on our food product line, which is they want to know, like, are you organic? What is your packaging? Are you putting in recycled paper? Like they're prioritizing people who check these boxes because the retailers want to be able to say, you know, we push our vendors to be sustainable and everything else. And while this has been like an ongoing topic for many years, they say that you know, this year we're going to see even a bigger push because so many people over the last 10 years have gotten onto it. It's almost becoming a requirement now. And
That's so interesting.
It is insane. So
I just saw something the other day, and this is off topic, and we're already kind of running over, but it's not off topic. It's about sustainability, but it was, and I don't know enough to sit there. I'm not trying to like get people pissed off at me. I love sea turtles more than anybody, but it was the straw conversation. And it was kind of like all of a sudden out of nowhere, restaurants, like you couldn't even find distributors that would give you plastic straws. It was like paper straws were everywhere.
Couldn't stand paper
and
straws.
everyone was like, save the sea turtles. Trust me. I want
one sea turtle with a straw.
I want to save the sea turtles too. I don't have enough research or context to make like an intellectual comment on this topic, but there were people, it was like an interview with restaurateurs that were like, it went from that to literally having paper straws, and then it was a whole different issue of
paper. If anyone knows anything about producing paper,
the forests,
it takes gallons and gallons of water to produce paper,
and trees,
and pulp, and burning.
Yes,
and there's so much chemicals in it. It's
and
insane.
so it was this trade-off because of
Paper
a mentality,
plastic is
not necessarily because of true
oil.
sustainability. And that's where it gets crazy, is like people like the concept, how much research they're doing into the true sustainability and impacts on the earth is a whole nother story.
There's a company out there, and we've been at 2 different locations with our dusted product, and they have straws, and they're actually, you know, plug, it's called Strawfish, pretty sure. And their straws are made out of like crushed seashell, and that's been kind of glued together, and it breaks down over time. Yeah,
it looks like a straw.
It looks exactly like a straw.
Yeah.
And anyway, they look pretty amazing. But we have more stuff on the list, but we're kind of already at time.
I know. We got to cut it today.
We have stuff to say for next time.
We can talk about that next time. Yeah, we laughed too long about pigs that aren't skinny.
I know. That's fun. You know what? If you can't laugh, you can't have fun, then
what's the point?
All right. We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for having fun with us.